I'm going to start my recording right now. Okay, so last time we looked at unit 4, and unit 4, that's where we talked about the duck with the golden, which was laying some golden eggs. Okay, so basically we looked at principles. We looked at a few principles that included that we should not steal from our businesses. So if you're running a business, there is a danger that you think that this business is mine. And the moment you have that kind of ownership of your business, you are bound to abuse your business because you feel like it's yours, you own the business. So what we need to understand is the fact that even though we are running a business, we need to work as employees in our own businesses, not to just take over everything that happens in our businesses. So we need to be employees in our businesses. So we discussed the importance of separating business and personal monies. Also, we said that when if you're working for a business, you need to pay yourself a salary or a commission. And we also looked at that we should not steal from our business and that we need to be able to save regularly. And we also finished with our personal budgets. So in our personal budgets, which is something, we're looking at Maria's budget. In Maria's budget, we learned that Maria, she was actually planning for own personal spending at home, personal expenditure, which we should also do, all of us. We need to plan for our personal expenditures. We don't need to just use money without planning for it. So whenever we get an income, we need to plan on how we are going to use that money. And one of the things that I mentioned that is very important is that we need to be able to put something for saving. Savings is always very important because there will come a day or maybe a time when we will need some money. And if you don't have savings, we are bound to go and use the business funds. So we said business funds should only be used for business purposes. We should not abuse our business monies for our personal uses. So we don't need to mix putting our personal money into our business or taking our business money for our personal uses. The moment we do that, we are going to affect our business at the end of the day. So that's what we discussed last time. And we said that, there are certain things that we need to avoid, like hiring a lot of employees in our business or buying expensive furniture for our offices, or maybe to start with a big office when you are just a small business. Our business should be able to require the kind of staff or maybe the kind of office that we will need in our business. So it should be determined by how our business is doing. We should not just decide that I'm going to have a big office because I have a business. But the business itself should be able to determine whether it needs an office or it doesn't need an office. Even buying a car for your business, you need to know that if you're buying a car for your business, is it a necessity? Is it a productive asset for your business? Are you going to use it for deliveries, or you are going to just have it? You cannot just have a luxury car for your business, because what will then happen is that a car is an expense, and if it's not for your business, if for your personal use, then you have to use your personal resources to buy that car. You cannot just take business money and use it for personal use. So that's what we try to emphasize, the importance of us separating business money and our personal funds. So that's basically what we looked at. Today, we are going to look at paperwork in terms of our business. So last time we looked at paperwork in terms of our homes. Today, we're going to look at paperwork in terms of our business. So every business should have paperwork. We cannot just do things. In fact, I was helping people who got some loans last time and they were asked to repay back those loans. So I was discussing with them that whenever you pay back the loan amount, you need to have it written somewhere to show that you have paid back the loan. If you just pay and you say that I've paid this loan, there will come a time when somebody will say that I didn't see that money that you're saying that you paid, and it will become a legal issue. And if you don't have any proof, then you are bound to lose your case in any court that you might go to. So we need to keep records for our businesses. We need to keep records for everything that goes on in the business. So for our business, there has to be. That's why you find in the businesses, there's drawers, there's all shelves and all those kind of stuff. Because you need to have your records kept somewhere of everything that goes on. Every contracts, every transactions that you do in your business, they have to be written somewhere and you have to keep them somewhere where you can be able to get back to them if you want to look at them. And we also going to look at the importance of recording income and expenses at the point of sale. So we need to record income, which is the money that comes into the business. You need to tell us how you got that money, what happened, how did you get it. So when it happens, you need to write it there and there. You don't need to wait for the evening or maybe for the end of the week. You need to write it there and there. The same applies with the expenses. So incomes, basically, we're talking about the money that comes into the business. And expense, we're talking about money that goes out of the business. So when you are giving away money, you need to explain why you're giving somebody money out of your business. So bear in mind, we are only talking about our businesses here. I'm not discussing about your personal life, about how you want to spend your money. You can be generous with your personal monies. You can actually give it away to charity. That's fine. But I'm discussing about business. Okay. When you're talking about business, you really need to record everything that goes on in businesses. So you really need to make sure that whenever you get money, you tell us how you got the money. Whenever you lose money, you need to tell us how you are losing, why you are losing that money. So that's how you record. That's called income and expense. And this is done at the point of sale. Whenever it happens, you write it down. And from this, you can then be able to make what is known as an income and expense log, which is what we are going to look at briefly today. And after, from our income and expense log, we can then create an income statement. An income statement is created at the end of the month. So during the month, you'll be recording what is known as income and expense. You'll be recording things in what is known as income and expense log. And at the end of the month now, you create an income and expense log using, you create an income statement using information that is on the income and expense log. So information that is on the income and expense log should be the same information that should be found on the income statement. The only difference is that income statement is a summary. So the income statement summarizes your income and expense log. And I'm going to discuss that with you. And the last thing we're going to look at is avoid selling on credit. Okay, I know you've got most of us, we've got friends, we've got relatives, but if it's a business, avoid selling things on credit. Okay, we are going to discuss why it is important not to sell things on credit. When I'm saying credit, I'm saying you're giving away things without getting money. I'm saying that somebody will tell you, I'll pay you next week, I'll pay you next month. You're selling on credit. And once you are selling on credit, you are doing a bad business practice. Okay. So these are the commitments that you took with you last time, that you separate your personal and your business money. And you're also going to keep your my personal and business money separate. We talked about Dean Kedis, one of the founders, one of the co-founders of Interview Solution. I showed you a picture of him demonstrate that we need to have at least 3 bank accounts. Okay, one for our personal savings, the other one for the business. Okay, so he talked about the importance of that we need to have a personal bank account and we need to have a business bank account, and we also need to have a savings account where we save the monies that we make. So in every business, once a business starts to grow, make sure that you create a system whereby you pay yourself either a salary or a commission from the profit that you are getting in your business. Okay. Don't just decide that when you need money, you go and get money from your business. And if you don't need money, you just don't take money from your business. Create a system whereby you pay yourself a salary or a commission. So these are some of the things that we are going to commit yourself to do. Okay. So on the first, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
How are you?
I'm
All right.
fine, thank you.
That's wonderful. So in your screen, you can see, what do you see on the screen? You can see there's Wilson.
A wooden boat.
Yes, the wooden boat. What can you say about this boat? If I'm to give it to you and say I need you to use it to cross this lake, what would be your response? Would you be comfortable actually taking this boat with you to cross the lake?
Well, I don't think so.
No.
This is very old vessel.
Okay, so you don't think you'd actually be comfortable taking this boat with you to cross the lake? So what we are saying here, this is the lesson, this is the code that we are going to use today to discuss what we are going to discuss. We're going to look at this boat and compare it with our business. So let's say I'm running a business at the moment, and my business is more like this boat. Okay. If I am to be satisfied to use this boat to cross the sea, or maybe to cross the lake, what do I need to do to make sure that I am comfortable getting into this boat so that I can cross the lake? So that's what we are going to discuss, because you would find that oftentimes we take risks for our business without considering the status of our business. So this is more like the status of our business as it stands right now. And if you're not comfortable with using this boat to cross the lake, that means that if this is your business, there are certain things you cannot do with your business because it is a risk for you. Okay. So there are certain things that we are going to look at that you might not need to do in your business because they are detrimental. They will destroy your business. So you don't want to sink by going into this boat. We don't know, maybe it has got holes because it looks like it was standing for a long time, and it probably got holes and all those kind of stuff. And your business can be in that kind of a state whereby you are not sure of where my business stands at the moment. Can I use it? Can I not use it? Okay. You are not sure if I can use this boat to cross a lake, or you are not sure, right, if I can actually sustain this business for some time. So that's what we are going to look at as we. So it says here, this boat is like a business. You need to know some things about your business, about the boat and your business, to make sure they will float before you take them into the deep water. Like the boat, you need to know some things about your business before you invest money, take out a loan, or create a lot of fixed costs. Paperwork will then provide you tools you can use to make make sure that your business floats. So before you there's sometimes we want to invest money into a business. And if that business is not running very well and that business is shaky, it has got holes. If you invest money into that business, that means that money is going to sink and you are going to lose money. Okay. So before you invest money into a business, you need to know how well your business is doing. And once you discover that this business is worth investing money into it, then you can invest. And that can also determine how much money you are going to invest into that business. Sometimes you don't need to invest a lot of money because that business cannot be able to sustain that kind of an investment. So you need to be able to calculate and tell that the state at where my business is at the moment, I can invest this much amount of money and it will help it to grow. So even if you want to get a loan, if you decide to get a loan from a finance company or from a bank, you need to get the amount that your business needs. Don't worry about getting, because the bank is offering more money, and because you say you think the bank is offering 50,000, I'll just go and get 50,000. If your business needs 5,000 and the bank is offering 50,000, don't take 50,000, take 5,000, because that's what will actually help boost your business. So it depends on the status of business. Some businesses are big, some businesses are small. If your business is small and it does not require a lot of money to invest into it, don't push yourself to get so much money and invest a lot of money into it. So that's what we are going to discuss. Okay, so there is a dialogue that is there that demonstrates the importance of paperwork. Okay, I need two people.
Wait.
Okay. Can you hear me? Because sometimes I end up talking to myself.
Loaded.
Michael, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So I need Michael and Wilson Head to, one of you, okay, Michael, you're going to be Max, and then Wilson Head, you're going to be Daniel, and there is for Joe Akosuwa. Can you be James also? Okay, so let's start with with Michael, who is going to be Daniel, who is going to be Max. Then we're going to have Wilson Head, who's going to be Daniel. Then where there's James, Agosua, would you do that? Would you read that part? Okay, let's start. Michael, you can start.
Yeah. Yes.
Michael, you are Max. Can you see this that I've? Can you see the dialogue that I'm talking about?
Okay, so I'm Max. Okay.
Yes, you are Max, Michael.
Okay. Should I start?
Yes, you can start.
So, Daniel, I need to be paid for the job I did last week. Who is Daniel?
Okay, Melo, you can read that part. Yes, go ahead, Wilson.
Hello.
Yes, can you read Daniel's part?
No. So this is not. Do I act as Daniel?
You are Daniel, yes. You just need Daniel's part.
Okay.
So let me go again.
So yeah, get it again.
Okay, so
Daniel, I need to be paid for the job I did last week.
Yes, Wilson, you can read.
I'm sure that I paid you.
Yes.
Okay. The other day the other guy I worked with writes everything down. Do you have the records to show you paid me?
No.
Okay, then James comes in.
Good to see you, Daniel. You look busy. Have you made any profits?
Yes, I think so.
You think so? What do you mean?
Well, I haven't kept any records. I am busy making furnitures.
You don't write down your expenses or income to calculate your profit and loss.
James, I'm a carpenter, not an accountant.
Ah,
James, you can read the last line.
Daniel, going forward, you must keep records of everything so you will know if your business is successful or not.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So from
Yes,
this,
I think so.
from this, what we have read today, we looked at Daniel, who is running a business. He's a carpenter, and Mark's actually had done some kind of work for Daniel, and he went and said that he need to be paid for the job that he did last week. And Daniel is saying, "I'm sure I paid you." Okay. Then Max goes on and say, "The other guy I worked for, writes everything down. Do you have any records to show that you paid me?" So in other words, okay. So in what we are saying now is that Daniel is actually in a very difficult situation. So this is what happens to us in most cases. Okay, my system just stopped recording. I don't know what happened. I was afraid that I might have kicked out. So Daniel, because he was not writing anything down, Max could have taken advantage of that situation and said, "You didn't pay me," even though if he had been paid. But because he knew that there was no paperwork that was done when he got paid, he just could get given the money and he left. And he could take advantage of that situation and said, "You didn't pay me for what I did last week." And in this case, that would mean that Daniel would have to pay him again for that. Because if he doesn't pay him and Max decide to sue Daniel, if they go to court, the first thing they will ask is that, "Did you pay him?" And if he says yes, and they'll say, "Can you show us? Can you show us where you have actually, where it shows that you have paid?" And if you don't show the records, then it's your word against his word. It will be Daniel against Max in the court. And oftentimes, Daniel would lose his case. So he says that I'm not.
Where is one?
He says that I'm not an
So you
accountant.
come and drink it again.
He's saying that I'm just busy making furniture, and I'm not an accountant.
Boy, don't
Oftentimes
drink all just
we feel that we are not accountants, but we are just carpenters. But in every business, you need to be able to understand how your finances are going. If you do not understand your finances, you will never know how your business is doing, whether it's growing or it's actually going down. So in the case of Daniel, we learned that keeping correct paperwork in your business is important for many reasons. Okay, there are all kinds of records a business can keep. Okay, so in your business, there are so many kinds of records that you can keep. So today we are going to focus more on your financial businesses. So I'm going to go and look at this. So this is how you make an income and expense log. Okay, so these are the benefits of making of income and expense log. It helps you to know your available cash. An income and expense log will help you to know how much you have, even without going to the safe and open and count the money. You will know offhand that I have got this much money. So it helps you to know your available cash. And it also helps you to know what and when expenses and income okay each month. So you'll be able to know that I use money maybe towards the end of the month or maybe towards the beginning of the month. But you can actually be able to trace that if you are writing an income and expense log. If you're not writing an income and expense log, you will not know how your monies are moving around in the business. But as a business, you need to be able to know that I'm buying a lot of things towards maybe the beginning of the month. So you will need to have a lot of cash towards the beginning of the month. But if it happens, it's happening at the end of the month. So you will need to know, when do I buy a lot of things, so that you would save money for that particular period of time. So you don't use your money. So when the time comes that you need to buy a lot of things, you don't have money. And for you to have this information, you need to have an income and expense law. Okay, so it also helps you to know who you have paid or from whom you have received money. So it can actually explain to you who you paid this month and who maybe gave you this money this month. It also will help you to know which of your products sell best and when they sell best. So often, especially the retail shops, they have products that are fast, the fast lines. And usually those fast lines, they actually put them at an eye level so that customers can easily see them. So you can have this information if you are keeping an income and expense log. Okay. So you also know all your expenses and which ones you can reduce. So there are certain expenses that your business do not even need. And if you are not writing an income and expense log, you will not know which ones. I did that with my business also, and I discovered that I was spending most of my money buying airtime. Okay. I was spending most of my time buying airtime, and I had to come up with a plan so that I can reduce the amount of airtime I was using every month. But you can only find out that if you are writing an income and expense log. But if you're just taking money from your business and buying airtime, you will not be able to know that you're losing a lot of money from airtime. Sometimes it's transport that would actually cost you a lot of money. So you need to find a way to reduce the transport cost. Okay. So this is cow streaming business. This is how you write an income and expense log. Okay, so an income and expense log should be able to tell us which month it is for. In the case of cow, we learned that this is for the month of March, and it's written from the 1st to the 31st of March. And the other thing you need to tell us is how much money do you have coming from the last month. So in this case, we are saying that cow is taking the balance that he had in February, and is actually forwarding that to the month of March. So he's saying his starting cash balance is 1,500. So that's the cash that he has at hand. So if you've got a safe, that's the money that is in the safe. So this is how you then write an income and expense log. You tell us the date that it happened, whatever happened, you tell us when it happened, and you tell us what exactly happened. So that's the description. And then you tell us, was it an expense or was it an income? And you calculate balance there and there. So in the case of cow, we realize that on the 2nd of March, so this is 2nd of March, he went and trimmed Ralph's trees. Okay. By trimming Ralph's trees, he was paid, Ralph Jones trees, he was paid 200. So that's an income that came into his business. So you look at the balance, we started with 1,500 and plus 200 that he got from Ralph. Now his balance is 1,700. And this is how you write your income and expense log. If it is an income, you write a plus sign at the beginning to show that this is income. Okay. So if you look at the next one, on the 10th of March, he went and repaired his truck, and that cost him 100. Okay. So you write a minus sign to show that this is money that was going out of your business. And you subtract it from your existing balance. And if you look here, Cow had 1,700, that was his balance. And if you remove 100, then you will be left with 1,600. So it goes on. Wherever there's an expense, you subtract the money, and wherever there is an income, you add. So if you look, the wages that he gave McGill was 500. So that was minus 500 because he's taking money from his business to pay one of his employees, who is McGill. And from 1,600, if you subtract 500, you have 1,100. Then we went to Pablo. He went and trimmed Pablo's trees, Pablo Ortega, and he was paid 400. So you add that from your existing balance. So it's 1,100 plus 400, and then you get 1,500. So it goes on the 22nd, he actually trimmed Cow's Orchard. And Cow's Orchard, he was paid 1,000 for that job. And then his money from 1,500 to add 1,000, then it goes to 2,500. Then he went and bought a chainsaw for his business. And that chainsaw costed 1,500. So from 2,500 minus 1,500, then he was left with 1,000. Then on the 30th, he went and removed a stamp. So he moved the word stamp, and when he removed the word stamp, he was paid 400. So by the 30th of March, he was left with 1,400. Okay, so that's, you also write ending cash balance at the end to show that at the end of the month, Cow was left with 1,400. So this 1,400 is calculated by adding income, all the incomes, and also subtracting all the expenses. Then you'll be left with 1,400. Okay, so you are going to find this also as you'll be doing your assignments. You are going to come across income and expense law. And this is part of the project that will be marked. This is going to be marked by interview solutions. What's going on? Can you still hear me? I can't see you. Okay. I can see you are still there. I don't know what's going on with this thing. So these are the things that you need to focus on that are very important. One, there has to be a date on your income and expense law, and there has to be a description of what happened, whether you've paid somebody or whether you paid some money. So there has to be a description. And then there has to be, you have to identify whether it's an expense or it's an income. So there has to be an expense category, and there also has to be an income category. And lastly, there has to be a balance. So you can either use the same kind of same kind of income and expense log for your own business, or you can come up with your own that you can understand better. But what is very important at the end of the day is that you can understand how your business is doing. Are you using more money than you are getting? Okay. So if you look at this Cow's business, we are going to look at that just now. Okay. So this diagram shows, it has got a description of what went on in Cow's business. But I'm going to look at okay. Sorry, I think I was kicked out for a few seconds. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, I wonder. Can you all hear me? Mr. Fojo, can you hear me? It doesn't seem like you can hear me. Evelyn, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Melo? Can you hear me?
Yes, please, I can hear you.
Oh, I had a challenge with
Yes, even
The
though the line
network is
breaking,
bad.
but it's okay.
Please, I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. With my internet, I don't know what's going on. It's going on and off. So I will have to keep on more checking whether you can hear me or not. But anyway, okay. So this is the same income and expense log that we discussed for Cow. You remember, we said the Cow's income and expense log for from the 1st to the 31st of March. So this is the same. And this is how you then take information from your income and expense log and create an income statement. So income statement is more of a summary of your income and expense log. So if you see where every time when cow trimmed somebody's trees, it is now written as just tree trimming. We are not picking all those expenses like they are in the income and expense log, but we're just writing tree trimming. And so we summarize everything that happened. So if you calculate 200 plus 400 plus 1,000, you get 1,600, which is the amount. So this is the difference between an income and expense log and an income statement. Like I said, an income statement is a summary of the income and expense log. So if you see here, we don't have any starting cash balance in our income statement. In our income statement, it only tells us which month this is for, and it has got a category and an amount. So that's all that you find there. Then it tells us now the income. You need to tell us how you got, where you got the income. And if it's something that you did twice or 3 times per month, you put that together and you just write it as tree trimming, like the example of cow's business. You just write tree trimming and you calculate where you trimmed tree. Okay, you just calculate where you trimmed tree and you give us the total of that. Then the other thing that gave him income also was stamp removal. Okay, so the stamp removal gave him 400. So if you say 1,600 plus 400, you then write your total income, which is 2,000. Okay, so this is how you write your income statement. And below the income, you then tell us the expenses that went on during the month. So from this income and expense log, we learn that Cow repaired his truck and it cost him 100. And he also paid McGill's wages, and that cost him 500. And he went and bought a chainsaw, and that cost him 1,500. So if you calculate 100 plus 500, that's 600 plus 1,500, then we get 2,100. So that's the total expense. Then if you want to get whether he got profit or loss for the month of March, you then say total income minus total expense. Okay, so in our case, we've got total income, which is smaller than the total expense. So definitely our answer should be a minus, because we are trying to subtract a bigger number from a smaller number. Okay, so we are trying to subtract 2,100 from 2,000, and the answer we'll get is minus. So in the case of in the case of Cow in the month of March, he had a loss of 100. Okay, because he used more money than the money he got into his business. So if you use more money than what you got into your business, that's a loss. But if you use less money than the money you got into your business, then you've made profit. So if we were to say that Cow had actually, his total income maybe was 2,500 and his total expense was 2,100, that would mean that he would have made a profit of 400. So this is how you calculate it. I just want you to understand that you say total income minus total expense. That's how you calculate, you get your profit or loss. So you would find this also in your assignments as you are doing that. This is part of what you are going to write. Once you write this, this is going to be marked by interview solutions. So they will mark this and see if you've done this well. And you also find that there is also, you can do your practice. This is also in the manuals that I submitted to you. You can find this, that you can also practice this on your own. And then once you feel like, so you can actually, what we want you to do, since you are going to do this course in a very short period of time, You can just come up with figures. They just want to see if you have understood this. Okay. So they'll just check if you have understood this. So you can come up with any figures that you want to come up with. You can either pay yourself or you can pay somebody. You just get an employee that you decide to have and you can pay them. You decide on any kind of business. If you don't have any business at the moment, think of a business and just make a rough sketch of how you might fill your income and expense law and how you might fill your income statement. Okay, so the last thing we're going to look at is avoid selling on credit. Okay, says here, when you give a person your product and they say they will pay you later, you are selling on credit, and this is dangerous to your business. Okay, so this is very, very dangerous, and these are examples of some people who complained about giving people their products and they're getting promised that they will be paid later. So this is one. It says, please don't pay. People don't pay like they promised to. You lose time and money trying to collect the debt they owe you. Oftentimes, if people borrow money from you, you end up using money to visit them so that you can recover your money. And sometimes we get emotional. We don't worry about how much we are spending to visit those people. We just want to get our money back. So you find sometimes you spend 20, or maybe you spend 200 to recover 150. Okay. But you just tell yourself, I cannot let it go. I want my money back. And because of that, you end up spending more money than what that person actually borrowed from you. So we are saying that avoid giving people money that you will need to follow up on, because oftentimes it costs you. Okay. So it says credit is harder to record because no money goes into your cash box. You need to keep a separate record of money you are owed, which is called accounts receivable. Okay. So if you looked at our income and expense log, there is no way you record credit. You don't record credit there. Okay. And I've said this so many times to people that business is about cash. Okay. It's not about products. It's not about items. It's not about I've got a lot of bags at home. That's not business. Business is all about cash. Okay. If I buy a lot of things that I want to sell, if those things are not selling, I don't have a business. Okay. I have got goods that I have at home. That's not business. Business is having those things being bought and you getting cash and maybe going and buying more things and things like that. Then you can say, I have a business. Okay. So people will maybe buy stock, a lot of stock, and they keep that stock. That is not business. That is not business. You can say that I've got a lot of stock at home, but that is not business. Business is about money changing. Money should go out of your hands and money should come into your hands. Then you are in business. Okay, so that's how you best define business. Okay. So it's the last person said, if you have taken out a loan for your business, then start giving without charging interest, then you are losing money. So when you get a loan, the bank will charge you interest. And when then you lend somebody some money or so your products that you are selling, you are not going to charge those people interest. Okay. Your money might take 6 months and you get it just the way it was. But the bank will be charging you. The more time you take with their money, the more they would want from you. So once you understand that concept, okay, if you want to give people something, give them out of your personal money. Okay. If it means your family have to sleep on an empty stomach, use your money to give somebody the money. Don't take money from your business because your business cannot survive that. Your business cannot be sustained with credit. It will not survive. Your business is very fragile, very, very fragile. It's very sensitive to anything that goes on. So if you don't understand that and you decide to give away money, then you would find that you are going to destroy your business. Just a question, what is credit? What's your understanding of the word credit? What is credit? Anyone to just share with us what you're understanding. Naomi. Naomi, are with us? Naomi. Okay, Melo, you didn't say anything today. What is your understanding of credit? What is credit?
Yes.
Sir.
Okay. Evelyn, please carry on.
Yes.
All right. It's like giving out your products without taking money.
Okay.
Like you give out your products without taking money instantly.
Yes. So if you give up a product and say, I will get my money after 1 week, that's credit. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yes,
when
please.
you are selling goods, whenever somebody wants to get something from you, they need to pay for that there and then. Not that they will pay tomorrow or they will pay the next week. No, they should pay there and there. So oftentimes I had a friend who was doing a poultry project. So she was rearing broilers, and she's a very generous person. And people would come and say, can I have 2 beds? I'll pay you at the end of the month. And she would actually give them. Okay. So most of the time, she would actually finish her chickens on credit. And very few people would actually pay cash for the chickens. And she would actually, to get stuck, she would wait for that money to come before she could go and buy more. She would go and buy more chickens. Then it happened that one of the friends they wanted to use their fowl run, and she said that I'm going to rear my birds using your fowl run, but I don't sell anything on credit. So when those birds grew up, she told people that these chickens are not mine. They are for a friend and he doesn't sell on credit. And guess what? All the chickens were bought for cash. Okay. So she realized that sometimes people would have money, but they would try to take advantage of the situation and buy things on credit. So if you buy things on credit and if you are running, say, a poultry project, okay, like in our case here, chickens cost to buy chickens, to buy chicks and the feeds and also the vaccinations, it costs roughly 400. And when you finish selling the chickens, you will get roughly 600 to 700. Okay. But what I'm saying now, if people, and this is done in a period of 6 weeks, and if maybe 10 or 15 people borrow money from you, borrow those beds from you, and they say they will pay you in the next 6 weeks. So that means when those beds are finished, you cannot be able to go and buy the new chicks. So we are saying that your business is going to be affected by that. Okay. And it might even cost your business. You might actually eventually lose your business because you want to be nice. So don't be nice with business money. Be nice with your personal money. Like I said, be generous. If you want to be generous, that's good. But don't be generous with business money. Be generous with your own monies. If you are generous with your business money, you are going to destroy your business. So if you want to be generous, if you want to say, I want to give Katere some money, don't give me money from your business. Give me money from your personal pocket. That way you don't affect your business. It will not affect your business. Okay. So these are the commitments that I want you to go and do. I want you to go and develop a process for your business to record income and expense at the point of sale. So I said I've given you a model
Yeah.
house business, but you can use your own. You can come up with your own, but it has to have those categories that I talked about. Then I also want you to commit that you're going to keep an income and expense log for your business. You need to have an income and expense log for your business that you are running. If you're not yet into a business, please think of a business that you can run. And once you start running that business, make sure that you are going to record the expenses and you're going to record the incomes that come into your business at the point of sale. Okay. And at the end of every month, you need to be able to create an income statement for your business. Okay. So I'm saying an income statement is a summary of your income and expense log. So when you are going to write this in your platform, the information that is on the income and expense log should be the same information on the income statement. The only difference is that the income statement is a summary of your income and expense log. So in your income and expense log, you write everything down. But in your income statement, you then summarize everything. So you have to shorten those things. And when you summarize them, you then come up with your income statement. So you need to tell us also whether there was a profit or a loss. Okay. So at the end of that, you need to tell us whether there is a profit or a loss. Tiga, you came in there a little bit late. We are almost done. So anyone with a question? I know you are busy, Tiga, I'm sorry, but I've recorded everything. I'm going to submit the recording on the on the WhatsApp platform. All right. So does anyone have any questions before I go and maybe just give you an highlights of Unit 6? Anyone with a question?
Yes, there's Melo.
Okay, Melo.
Yes, so I'm into this phone accessory stuffs and pertaining to the credits
Yes.
statements or about the credits we're making. You were like, credits is not good. We shouldn't indulge in giving out credits, I mean, goods as credits. But then in my view right now, in what I'm doing, this business I'm running right now,
yes,
I would say confidently it is the credits that is boosting my business right now.
Okay.
Why am I saying this? This is because I have people who come and then credit my goods. I mean, the credit that I sell, I mean, it's the income over there is much more than buying single up and down.
Okay.
So if it's like credit is not good, I mean, it's
all right. So okay,
that's where I'm a bit confused.
All right, I want to say thank you very much for that. So I said avoid selling on credit. So you'd find that there are certain businesses that you might consider selling on credit. If that works for that business, then it is fine. But what is very important is you need to keep a record of what's going on, what is happening in that business. Oftentimes, I don't know, you might have created a system whereby you don't have a challenge of following up on the monies. Okay, I was in South Africa for about 5 years. I worked for different companies, but I remember one of the company that I worked for Simba, where we were delivering chips. Okay, so these they had an agreement with the shops that they were delivering the chips to. So I used to deliver those chips. So what they would do, we would go and deliver the chips, and then the company that would deliver to would pay us after about 3 months. Okay, so would have made maybe 5 or 6 deliveries before payment would actually come. Okay, but it was a system that they had created, okay, that was working efficiently for them. So there are certain situations where it works, and there are certain situations where it's very difficult for your business. So I'm not saying right off that you cannot sell on credit. There are certain businesses that you might consider selling on credit, okay? But you need to make sure that you do not affect your business, okay? Because let's say you are starting a small business and everybody comes and buys on credit. If you notice, if you discover, I don't know with your case, Melo, like the example I gave you of poultry, okay? Yes. Where we buy the chicks and where we buy the feeds, they don't give us on credit. They want cash, okay? But if I then sell on credit and I want to buy more goods, and where I'm going to buy more goods, they want cash. So that would mean that I'm going to be affected because I cannot be able to buy those goods because where I'm going to buy my goods, they need cash. But you find that, like I'm giving you an example, that there are certain products, there are certain people, maybe you make your own stuff and maybe you sell them on credit. You don't incur any kind of expenses to buy the materials that you kind of need. Well, sometimes you might find out that you have sold most of your stuff on credit and you do not have money to go and restock. Okay, so that could actually affect your business. But if you are saying in your business, it actually works. There are so many business where it works. That's why if you find in the manual, it says that avoid. It does not say do not sell on credit, but it says avoid selling on credit. If you can, then you need to avoid. But if you can't, then you can go ahead and sell on credit. Okay. So that's one thing you need to understand. I hope I've answered you.
Yes,
are you
please,
still with us, Melo?
Thank you. Yes, please. Thank you. Well understood.
Okay. Thank you so much. Anyone else with a question? If anyone wants to ask? Tiga, you came in very, very late, but you benefit from the recording, huh? Mr. Fojo, do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have a question, please.
Okay. Thank you. I know you. You normally have questions, which is good, actually.
Yeah. I have a question to ask, please.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, but before even my question,
yes.
I just want to make some input in the credit thing that you just explained.
Thank you so much.
One of the things you said in your presentation,
yes,
is that if you want
we're getting a bad feedback. Can you come again? We can't hear you. Sorry. We can't hear. I can't hear you. I don't know if the others can.
Yeah, we can't hear it either. Very bad.
It's very bad internet. Sorry for that.
Facility, then you should let your price calculate, otherwise you will lose money. I don't know. Is it? Hello?
Sorry. Yes. I didn't get the last part. I only got the last part where you talked about calculating money, but I didn't get most of the part. Your internet was...
Okay. So am I audible now?
Yes, now we can hear you. I don't know if it's going to be like that for long.
Okay. So what I
very bad, Mr. Fojo. Your network is very bad.
Yeah, it's so bad. I can't even hear you. Yeah.
You said that even if we want to give, Okay.
Can you write it down? Because honestly, I can't hear anything. Can you just write it on the chat?
I will do that.
Please.
Okay.
Tiga, can you?
I will do that.
Okay.
I will do that.
Just write on the chat, then I can actually read it, and then we can discuss it. Tiga, you can go ahead. Ask your question. I hope you can hear you. Tiga. Tiga, you can ask your question. I can see your hand is up. You're on mute. You need to unmute yourself first. If you are speaking, you are on mute. Tiga. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes, where are you? I can't say. It seems like it's gone also. I think we've lost Tiga. Anyone with a question? Mr. Fudge, I'm still waiting for your question. You can write it down, then I can actually read it, then I can try and answer. Okay, it seems like Mr. Fudge is not writing his question. Anyone else with a question? Eurama, you didn't say anything today. Eurama and Naomi, you didn't say anything.
Hello, sir.
Tiga, you wanted to ask a question. Can you go ahead, please?
Hello,
yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Good evening once again, and sorry for being late today.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make a little contribution and one question.
Yes, quite.
I think in business we have to look at okay.
You said what? Sorry.
Okay, so I wanted to just add some.
Yes, quiet.
I want to add something and ask one question.
Okay, please, thank you.
Okay, so I think that in business, credit is important when you know the value of the business you are into, whereby you know that it could help you repay your credit on time so that you don't have difficulty with your business.
Sure.
Other than that, it will be better to also look deep into your business and strategize so that you are able to start your business on a lean budget so that you plan for the future. So in doing business, you have to look at the kind of business, the prospect of the business, and the time frame for you to start reaping profit before you can choose to either go in for credit or to start it on a lean budget. And my question is, you see on the platform, not on the WhatsApp group, but on the main platform.
Sure.
When we do the course, you are asked to submit it.
Yes.
So I don't know if you have to answer the questions before you submit it, or after reading it, then you submit it. Then it will take green that you've been able to read through that topic.
Oh, okay. So when you read whatever you are reading, then there will be an assignment for you to submit. And when you submit that assignment, then it turns green. If it does not turn green, that means it will not let you progress forward. Okay. So you would find that there are certain things that you are going to write and you might not get them right. If you don't get them right, because they mark your assignment as you do them. So once you do that, they will not allow you to go forward, but they would make sure that you get it right before you move forward. So if you face challenges in any of those assignments, just reach out to me. I can then be able to get into the platform and assist you with that. So you'd find that like the income and expense log we are talking about, if you don't write your figures properly, the system will not, because they mark it there and there. So the system will not allow you to progress before you complete an assignment. So you have to complete an assignment first, then the system will allow you to go forward. I don't know if I've answered you.
Yes, please. But when I started mine,
yes,
when I finish reading and I submit it, I don't get the place to write my assignment. But when I submit it, it takes weeks.
Yes. So you would find that there are some assignments. There are some assignments that you don't have to write anything. You just read, you just have to read through. Then there are some assignments when you are asked to write and submit. But if there are some assignments that you just read, then you submit, then that's fine, it's okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Then you were talking about the credit and yes, like what you were saying. Yes. You find that there's some people who start businesses of lending people money, and that's a business that I cannot say that you don't have to lend to use credit, but you find that they offer service, and the kind of service that they offer people money. So in other words, it's credit all over. Okay, but the point is, then you charge interest. That's why they charge interest, and this also goes in line with what Mr. Foju was asking. That you were talking about charging interest. Okay, I was saying that if you get a loan from the bank, okay, so you get a loan from the bank, and you are going to you buy cell phones with the money that you have got for loan. Okay, if you are selling your cell phones, you are not going to charge interest on those cell phones. Okay, so if I borrow your cell phone, Mr. Foju, and I say I'm going to pay you in the next 2 months, you are not going to charge me interest for that. The amount that we agree on is the amount that I'm going to pay you after 2 months, unless you say that there is a price for cash and then there is a price for credit, which some businesses do. Okay, so if you are to give credit, you have to make sure that you have covered that, because when you borrow money from a bank and you buy cell phones that you want to resell, the bank will charge you maybe 15% or 20% interest from the money that you have borrowed from them. So if you borrow 1,000, you are going to pay 1,200. Okay, so that's what I'm saying, that then if you bought cell phones and you are selling your cell phones, oftentimes you just charge me the price for the phone. You are not going to charge me any kind of interest for that phone. So what happens oftentimes is that even if I take 6 months to pay you, you are not going to charge me interest for taking long with your money. So what it does is then you are going to be running loss, because the loan payment you are going to pay, if it takes longer, it means you are going to pay more than what you should have paid. Okay. So the loan repayments, oftentimes, if you take longer than what you're supposed to, what you have agreed on, you end up paying more than what you're supposed to pay, because they've got interest on top of interest. So this is what happens with the loan. So that's the difference with you. If I then discuss with you, Mr. Foju, and I say, I want to buy your phone, but I don't have money this time. I don't have money right now. I will pay you at the end of the month. And you say it's fine. You give me the phone. At the end of the month, I will tell you, I was expecting this money and I didn't get this money. But if you have got a loan for to buy those phones, the bank that you borrowed the money from will need the money at the end of the month. So there is a difference now between me and the bank. If I'm to discuss with you, we can agree and we can discuss things out together. But the bank will not listen to that. Because if you forfeit paying your loan, then they've got papers, they've got everything, they've got contracts, they've got constitutions and all those kind of things. And they can take you to court and they can repossess your items, including the phone. They will end up taking your television. They will end up taking your sofas in the house. So that's what will then end up happening. So you would find that if I am to borrow a car that costs 5,000, and the interest, maybe it will end up going to maybe 8,000 that I'm supposed to pay. If I don't repay that money, the bank will not ask for 5,000, it will ask for 8,000. You see that? So if they want to repossess my car, the car that I got, they would then say, this car, its value is maybe 5,000, or maybe it has gone down because you have used it. So it's now 4,000. So we need 4,000 more for the loan that you took. So most of the time, this is how people then get into troubles. They get into a lot of problems and they've got a lot of stress because of that. Okay. I know of some people who ended up killing themselves because they ran so deep into debt. And sometimes they would then want to they'll go and borrow some more money to cover another debt. They will borrow from someone else to cover somebody's debt. And that person starts to come and follow up and say, I need my money. They'll go and borrow somewhere else again and pay this person. So you end up living a life that you don't want to live. I don't know if you've got any questions. Our time is up. We might need to close if you don't have any questions. Any questions? Thank you so much for the contributions and questions. So just a preview of next. All right, I was kicked out again, so I think I need to close this class before I get kicked out again. But anyway, we are going to look at paperwork in terms of business. That will be our next discussion. So we're going to look at paperwork and we are going to look at business budget. So we need to budget the money that we use in our business. So we say that at home, we need to have a business, a home plan. So we plan on how we're going to spend our money. And the same applies with our business. Also, we need to have a budget on how we are going to run our business. So we need to review, we're going to review our income statements that we've discussed today. We're going to look at how we write income statement and how you review the income statement as part of our discussion next time. And the next thing we're going to look at is also, we need to plan your business budget. A business has to have a budget. So you need to plan that. We're going to discuss how you plan that budget. And we are going to look at, we're going to talk about, this is when we discuss of cash flow projection. So you need to have a business budget to plan your future. So you need to know how your business will be like in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 6 months. You need to know how your business will be, where your business will be standing in the next 6 months. So that's what some of the things that we are going to discuss when we meet on Thursday. Thank you so much. I will submit the recording just as soon as we finish. It sometimes takes long for me to download it and then to upload it on YouTube. But I hope I will be able to do it soon. If I don't do it tonight, I will submit it early in the morning. But thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for coming to the class and thank you for the wonderful contribution. I'm now signing out. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you too, sir. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.